So you experienced this very early on with Netflix itself, right? Sacred Games you all did, and that really took Netflix to a next level in India. And you realize that this is something else that goes. You get feedback from all over.
I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer. It was like the best minds in Vikram Motwani and Anurag Kashyap directing at the same time, and the best kind of writing and trying to be as clever and creative as possible, and wonderful bunch of actors, so nicely shot.
The only difference, Saif, is that a box office, if it's nobody goes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's considered a washout and all those things. Here, at least that's saved. Netflix will share figures with only you all. Not we. The public won't know how many people watched it, right?
Actually, I want to just chime in. I think today the biggest currency is conversation.
Right.
You'll get a fair metric of how things are going. Do people like it? Do they not? In fact, I feel like when it's on streaming, there's a certain vulnerability because you're really looking at a lot of the conversation.
Jaideep, when you work with him, आप क्या सीखते हैं इनसे?
बहुत कुछ है. मैं मेरे से सीखने की क्या है उनके पास. मैं अभी भी शुरू किया है. उनके पास इतना सारा एक्सपीरियंस है फिल्मों को लेके, उनके काम.
You can learn a bit of bullshit as well.
Sid, what makes a Netflix film? Like, say your one film, King, will come on cinemas. This will come on Netflix. Why the difference?
I really don't differentiate that much in that. I feel one word is responsibility.
Right.
I feel responsible to the platform for the faith they put in, for the money that they put in to make a film like that, and to the audience.
Right.
When they are watching a film that is my name attached or my company's name attached, I feel responsible.
Guys, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. Saif, I'm going to start with you. You told Kareena that Kareena said that I'm very intimidated every time I work with Jaideep.
क्यों बोला सर आपने?
Yeah, क्यों बोला?
You're the 10th guy to ask me this
Wow,
today.
I thought it's a very original question.
No, I think you're all finding your questions in the same...
We were discussing downstairs. No, okay.
साथ में बैठे, swapping notes.
ये अलग हाइस चल रहा है.
No, the thing is, my question is, when you worked with him for the first time, do you take any of these lessons yourself?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're learning. You should learn from life, from people. The whole idea is to be open. But when you get the opportunity to work with a co-star as talented as Jaideep, then there's so many things that jump up at you. And the most obvious thing for me was commitment and kind of the same thing you're doing. And you've seen many actors do it. You've done it.
Right.
But it's a trap, because there's still a more intense way of doing it. There's still a more committed way of doing it. Whatever it is. There was a scene where you had to cut somebody with a knife.
Oh my God.
And when I saw it on the page, I kind of imagined how it would be.
Right.
But when I saw how he did it, there was a extra 50% of energy and timing, and at the same time something creative and natural about how casually it was done. But it was casual as well as very lethal and strong.
Wow.
And I've seen people actually do that shot in a Hindi film that I've been in. A couple of times actually, but never like this. So it was that's an example of what I'm kind of talking about.
Jaideep, when you work with him, आप क्या सीखते हैं इनसे?
बहुत कुछ है. मैं मेरे से सीखने की क्या है उनके पास. मैं अभी भी शुरू किया है. उनके पास इतना सारा एक्सपीरियंस है फिल्मों को लेके, उनके काम.
You can learn a bit of bullshit as well.
But genuinely, आप जब भी एक नए स्क्रिप्ट पे होते हो, नए लोगों के साथ होते हो, आपको हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा if you are open to it. पहली बात. But when you see actors like him, you know that the journey is so long. And he has been through so many characters. So with every film, he has that that experience of life and as an actor, experience as an actor, and it was amazing to see. I was so excited. The way it's kind of the bucket list you have that you want to work with these actors. And I had now I'm the family, so I have worked with both of them.
Yeah, I know it's great body of work that Saif has. Sid, as a friend, as great body also, and work also. As a friend and as someone who's seen Saif's work, what is his body of work like for you as just a viewer?
I think it's what do you call unexpected.
Okay.
is
different.
what you can expect from Saif for the
Right.
choices he makes.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, they're very brave,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes into territories that you'd least expect.
Right.
I mean, I used to be a very close friend of his when we were collaborating a lot more then. Yeah, and at that point in time, he used to actually run by what he's doing next with me a lot.
Okay.
That I'm thinking of doing this, and I would actually believe he's never going to do it. And then I realized I should never
never
think
say.
that,
Yeah.
because he would just make those choices,
Right.
and he would choose films that that actually seemed least commercial,
Mm-hmm.
and then still bring box office success to them.
Right.
That was his belief, and that used to always surprise me.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's held that for the last 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
and yet he's here as a leading man even after so many years. I think not despite, but because of those choices.
Wow, that was a very kind words. Ruchika, I want to ask you, is Netflix now moving on from, say, a concept-based titles to a out-and-out commercial titles?
At Netflix, I feel like our superpower is just how diverse we are in terms of the movies we put out. If I have to just kind of talk about last year, we did Amar Singh Chamkila.
Right.
That most felt was a brave choice when we
Yeah.
made it at that time, and it's pretty much become a part of the zeitgeist since then. Then there was Sector 36, there's been Control, there's also been the very pulpy Firai Haseen Dilruba and Do Patti, and we've had Dhoom Dham as a cape earlier this year. So I feel like no two titles that we put out look alike. And really at the centerpiece of what we do is to entertain our audiences. You could be entertained today with a rom-com, you could be entertained with a thriller, you could be entertained with a heist, action, drama film. But I think at the center, we really do appeal and seek to work with creators who put their honesty and their conviction into films, and just work with talent that always bring their A game. And I think Jewel Thief is that.
Right.
If we were to ever, like I've said, do a heist action film, I can't think of anyone better than Saif and Jaideep and Kunal Kapoor, Nikita, to come together with Cookie and Robbie, and such excellent producers like Mamta and Sid, who've always made films at a certain scale with just such incredible style and such a great grip on narrative.
Right.
So I feel like Jewel Thief is truly one of a kind.
Right.
It is, yes, a very mainstream bet, but then again, we've got such a great mix and such a diverse slate that's really what we're always trying to do.
Saif, what's happening at the box office is crazy. What works, what doesn't. Nobody ever knew, but now even more, I think. Does this give you some relief that it's coming on Netflix? Less of...
No, and it always worried me when and that kind of attitude can differentiate. I think the thing is, the attitude has to be that when the camera is on, you have to bring something very special, because you have to have a lot of respect for the viewer,
Right.
and for yourself, and for the art and the craft of it, and people have to. It's a very. I think Netflix is, if I may, in front of you, say the ethos behind the whole idea was to bring incredible quality entertainment that you would not find on the small screen usually to the small screen. Sometimes more entertaining than the big screen.
Yeah.
And that was the idea, because people used to say no, TV and the smaller screen won't have what the big screen has. So I think that basic change of thought is how this whole thing started.
Right.
And that's it. I think, you have to just, when you see something special, I was watching something on Netflix as an actor, and then you see it happen, and you're like, this is incredible. And you don't judge, is this a show or a movie or is it TV or what is it? You just watch the actor and you're impressed with that scenario, and it's taken 100 people to create that moment, whether it's the producer who thought of it and the director who made it, and makeup and everything, and lighting, and only when everything comes together perfectly is that moment strong. And sometimes we get a lot of the credit, which we have to share with everyone. Right. But the thing that you have to learn is, you're agnostic about the platform. It's the job. You have to be, bring it to your best.
Yeah. Jaideep, release ke time, do you take it differently? This is dropping on Netflix. No box office headache, at least, right? That pressure that comes on so many actors.
No, but there is headache. There's headache. There's going to be reviews. There's fans watching. So this attitude that that there's no price to pay for any kind of laxity is the wrong attitude completely. Because you will pay, and it is because ultimately there is money. There are people involved watching.
Yeah. The only difference, Saif, is that, box office, if it's nobody goes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's considered a washout and all those things. Here, at least that's saved. Netflix will share figures with only you all. Not we. The public won't know how many people watched it, right?
You know, actually, I want to just chime in. I think today the biggest currency is conversation.
Right.
You'll get a
Okay, fair
fair
enough.
metric of how things are going. Do people like it? Do they not? In fact, I feel like when it's on streaming, there's a certain vulnerability because you're really looking at a lot of the conversation. And I really like how Saif spoke about streaming because I think as streamers, our greed is really to take stories to every corner of India. And if you can't walk and go to a theatre, which I'm hoping you can, and if you can, please watch our license slate because we have an incredible license slate as well. But for the days that you don't want to, you can't, we'll come to your device, we'll come to your house.
Right.
And the promise with this film is really to bring that blockbuster experience home. So it really is the best of both worlds.
Right, right. जयदीप आपका क्या कहना है इसके बारे में कि बॉक्स ऑफिस रिलीज, सिनेमा रिलीज एंड नेटफ्लिक्स ओटीटी रिलीज कोई फर्क है आपके लिए?
सच बताऊं तो मेरे ऊपर वो प्रेशर कभी आया नहीं. ऑफ कोर्स सर के ऊपर वो बहुत आया होगा कि बॉक्स ऑफिस हिट. इट्स नॉट, आई नेवर फेल्ट दैट.
ओके.
सो आई डोंट नो कि वो क्या फील होता होगा जब आपके कंधों पे कोई फिल्म टिकी है और उसका हिट होना जरूरी है बॉक्स ऑफिस पे. सो I don't have an experience about that.
Right, fair enough.
I have been part of great successful films, but that was not just me.
Right.
There are so many factors to it.
Right.
So I think I'm not the right guy to answer that.
Sure, sure. Sid, you know, what makes a Netflix film? Like, say your one film, King, will come on cinemas. This will come on Netflix. Why the difference? Like, how do you decide
They're
that
just
this
in
should?
sync. Marflix and Netflix. You know what I mean?
I think Marvel is meant to do a film with Netflix.
Right.
So I really don't differentiate that much in that. I feel one word is responsibility.
Right.
I feel responsible to the platform for the faith they put in, for the money that they put in to make a film like that, and to the audience.
Right.
When they are watching a film that is my name attached or my company's name attached, I feel responsible, and that itself is currency enough to make sure you put your best foot forward.
Right.
And this is, I think, Marflix's journey, beginning of a journey with Netflix.
Okay.
And I feel responsible for that, and I want to do a lot more work with them and tell a lot more stories. So for me, it's as good as a theatrical release.
Right. Yeah, Jaideep, you were saying.
May add something. As an actor, when it's either it's on screen or Netflix, for example, what you wait for the people who are watching it. That's what I have experienced.
Okay.
And when you go globally now, it's a different impact.
Okay. Okay.
Because people from everywhere in the world, they're just watching at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm getting messages from Germany to Russia to anywhere.
Right.
So that's a different high.
That's actually.
You can see कि अच्छा ये लोग वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं. Maybe Indian people, but you immediately get to know that it's going out.
People are watching it. Right.
Like
So,
don't Friday and Saturday. No. पता चलता है उनको 12 घंटे में पता चलता है कि it's gone viral.
It's gone viral. So you experienced this very early on with Netflix itself, right? Sacred Games you all did, and that really took Netflix to a next level in India. And you realize that this is something else that goes. You get feedback from all over.
Yeah, we were, I think, influenced by the show Narcos, and saw the kind of thing that happened at that time. And that was the kind of blueprint, you know, that, so, I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer. It was like the best minds in Vikram Motwani and you know, Anurag Kashyap directing at the same time, and the best kind of writing and trying to be as clever and creative as possible, and wonderful bunch of actors, so nicely shot, everything. So if it's quality, if you're trying to bring the best quality you can and not dumb it down in any way, or to say that, listen, you know, this is for this kind of market, or, you know, I don't know. It was just trying to be as good as you can, and it was a really wonderful experience that I'll always treasure, that Sacred Games experience.
Yeah, you know, you're the producer. You can tell me. There are two directors to this. How come two directors? Did they direct together? Did one come later? What happened?
I think this film needed the vision of both these guys to come and put it to life. And you can't make out where one director's work has stopped and the other one's begun. I think it's quite seamless, and I think it's providence that they both came together to do this and bring it to life eventually.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Streaming also does allow for that. You know, a lot
Okay.
of creative collaboration.
Like he
whether
said, it's a sacred game. Sorry
Yeah,
to interject.
yeah,
but
absolutely.
we
I was
We work
actually
with two
throwing to that.
directors so often.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those would be
Sometimes
web
together,
series,
sometimes
right?
Yeah,
separately.
but
Episodic.
streaming as a
Yeah.
streaming, right, in
Okay.
itself. So it's on streaming. So just the collaboration across the board, whether it's the energy Sid brought, Cookie,
Okay.
Robbie, it's just streaming actually does allow for
Allow
a
that,
lot
yeah.
of creative collaboration.
Right. Right. Lastly, to both the actors, you know, in your when you plan your filmography ahead, also in a year, can you plan that? Let's have 2 theatrical, 2 OTT. Can you plan that? Do you plan that?
Sounds like a good plan.
It's a wish list.
I have one of these, one of those, a
Yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
that.
Max.
All should be
Yeah.
great.
काश ये कर पाते हैं
Jan में आनी चाहिए, June में वो आनी चाहिए.
Then I get a haircut and I move into this. Yeah, I mean, it would be wonderful. And there comes a time, I mean, speaking for myself, I think, okay, you know, I'd like to concentrate on this now. You feel you've had enough of a certain feeling
Yeah.
and a certain environment and you want to try something else. And you're lucky if you get those choices. And one aims for variety, of course,
Sure,
you know,
sure,
and not to be repetitive. So that guides a little bit.
That's right. Okay. Jaideep ji? Yeah.
Sir, I can't plan.
Can't plan. Okay.
No, I don't think.
But would you like to plan?
Like you said, good balance between these two. Sounds like a good plan.
Right. Great. You'll have a trailer launch ahead where I'll see you guys there. And all the best for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you.